Page 24, Mirror Dance from the opera Faust. 4/4 time, 1 sharp in the key signature. We're either in G major or E minor. And if you look at the last measure on page 25, that is a G major arpeggio. I figure we're in G major. Lots of triplets. If you can do triplets, okay, it's not a problem. The kicker is they got to be even, or they're not triplets. And the fingering, I want to talk a little bit about fingering here and make some suggestions. In many cases in playing the piano, there are multiple ways or more than one way to finger something. You get to pick, and you develop a fingering style, and they're different fingering styles. That's one of the nice things I had about having so many different teachers, is they had their own, many of them had their own style, or the style they followed, which was different, and I got to learn these different styles and kind of put them together and figure out, okay, how do I make sense out of this? For instance, in the first measure in the right hand, it's here, 4, and then 3. See, there's a little 3 above that. All we did was change hand positions on a repeated note. Because we didn't have to. You could have stayed with 4 here. You could have stayed there and played all that. But we got more coming. You got to look ahead sometimes when you're fingering stuff. And we got this C coming up here. So we can be a little closer to C. It helps. Well, we do that by 3. That puts us closer to that C. And that's what that's after. And the second measure, you have a 5, and now they want a 2. Again, it puts us in position, because we could have done a 5/3 and thumb here. You can do that. In fact, you do that if you want to. That way you're fingering these triplets starting with 3rd finger. If you want, however, the 2's fine also. Then reach down. They put a C, this last measure of the first line, they put a natural sign in front of the C, but the natural sign's in parentheses. It's a courtesy sign. They're just telling you, by the way, this is a C natural, because it's a C natural anyway. But you just had a C sharp in the measure before, and they're being clear, I guess. A lot of publishers won't do that. You just have to know that's a C natural in that last measure. Second line, reach that octave. Thumb here. Now it's over an octave, and unless you can reach it, you just lift up and move. Here, then last 2 measures, second line, octaves. Here, here, here. This is actually common in piano. You'll get this a lot, this passage where your octaves and you're just 1/5, 1/5. You get that sometimes. So this is good. Just do that. And then we do that some more. You see at the beginning when you did 1/4, you could have done 1/3. And my habit is to do that, because in the 3rd line, of course, they're not giving you the fingering again. They expect you to remember the fingering from above. So finger it the same way you did on the first line. But if you want to do 1/3 on both of those, that's fine. Now the last measure, the 3rd line, it's here. 5, 3, 2, 1. The idea is we want to be with thumb on the next line. The last line there on page 24, want a thumb. And so we're going from here to here, and since we have so many repeated notes here, we take advantage. That's fine. You could have done a 5, 4, 3, 1. It doesn't matter. Just don't use 5 on all of those here. I mean, technically you could, but this is good practice, because you need to be able to do this, use different fingers, and the black keys are a little trickier to play because they're narrower. It's easier to miss them. So I encourage you to use that fingering. 5, 3, and then they're saying 4, then cross over. That's okay, but this is a sequence going down. here, 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 here. See this? All of these are, I like to finger sequences the same or at least similar as if I can. So I'm going to suggest that you go third finger, and I'm going to start each of these triplets with, well, I can't with the black key, I need second. Otherwise, I'm going to use thumb on all of them. 1, 3, 2. So it's 3, 2, and then a 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2. Now when I get here, I got a black key coming up. Here. So I got to use 4 because of the black key. Sometimes the black keys get in the way. But and then the last one, you just stay there if you want. Different ways of fingering it. You finger it in the book if you want to. I just, in my mind, when I do triplets, I do a 1, 3, 2. But the black keys get in the way, so that doesn't always work. Sometimes I gotta do instead of a 3, 2, I gotta do a 4, so I can use the second finger on the black key. And then I can back to that. Different ways of doing it. So I'm going to do it with a 3, and then a 1, and then a 1, and then a 1, and then this D major scale coming down. And it's fourth finger each time. 4, 4, and then the top of page 25 is the arpeggio. Here. I have scale videos on these arpeggios. If you want to try them out, go ahead. Looks like if you're going to get it in the music, it's time you were doing it, which means you need to be doing the arpeggio videos on G major and do the key signature. Here it's G major and E minor. They both have one sharp. So you do the scales, 2 octaves up and down, just like I explained in the scale video. The beginner and intermediate parts, and then go ahead and do the arpeggios. If you haven't done the arpeggios before, stick with the beginner part just to get the feel of them, but you need to get to where you can at least do it 2 octaves up and down, the intermediate level and the arpeggios, and you'll get this in there. You just up and down. It's a stretch, but over time, you'll get more accustomed to the stretch. And so that's what I'm recommending. Going on, page 25, second measure here. They're just staying on fourth finger, so they start with here. That's fine. The idea is it's easier to play the triplets with 4 than 5. I mean, you can if you want to stay on 5. But 4 is good. And then, because we need 4 at the end, we can stay there if we want. Or you can do a 5, 4, 3, 4, and just use a different finger on these if you want. And that 1-2 means play it with the thumb, and then put your second finger on it while you hold it down. It's a finger substitution. Here, and that way your thumb's ready. Now, on the second line, first measure, they have a 1, 2 again. I disagree, because now you got to use the thumb here. I just leave it there and use second finger on the B flat. If you can reach this, if you can reach an octave, then you can reach this. If you got real little hands, you can't reach that. You have to use thumb. But if you can reach it, put thumb on the half note and second on the B flat. Now, third measure over, look out. That is an E sharp, which is an F on piano. And then an E natural, but a D sharp. And here. This throws me because the fingering is a little off than I'm accustomed to. This is the third line down, first measure. On the triplets, and then we have this G major scale going down, but I'm out of position. They want fourth finger, and then 2. Now another fingering you can do here, and as I said, this throws me coming down in this scale here, the last 2 beats, because I'm here, 4, here, and that's not the fingering for G major scale, and it's just However, I can do this at the beginning. 1, put a thumb right there, and a 3. No. And once I'm here, then it's just a G major scale fingering. It's here, 3, 3, 3. And that to me works fine. So if you want to try that out. Fingering in the book is fine. You can use that too if you want. But you're down here. You're either 1 or 2, depending on which fingering you use, and then a 5 and then a 3. At the end, last line, you're here. Now we have a G major scale going down. Here, and then an arpeggio again. That's a G, that last note. It's 4 ledger lines above. 2 ledger lines, 3, 4. Left hand, just keep it out of the way. Finger it any way you want to, I guess. You can use the fingering in the book if you want. That's page 25. Look out. Top line, second measure on page 25. That mess, that is an F natural, because it's a natural sign in front of it. Then a G sharp and a B. Wonderful. Okay. And then the next one is a G natural, because you just had a G sharp. They gave you a natural sign. You don't need the natural sign. It's natural, but they gave it to you. Okay. An A and a C sharp. It just gets better, don't it? So you're going from here to here. How you finger it, the book is fine if you want to do that. Using a 4 and a 3. I can do here, here. You almost stuck using a thumb on that C sharp. So use the fingering in the book. Because that puts your fingers up here like it, and otherwise you got to go here. And so that's here, here. If you want, that's a 5, 3, 2. And then a 4, 3, 2. 5, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2. If you want, otherwise, if your hand will fit up here, use this. What's shown in the book. And then going on. So you're getting some of these chords. Second line, second measure, a G, a B flat, and a C sharp. Finger it however you choose. The fingering in the book is fine. Put the heads together. What do we get? Real slow. I'm going to connect everything as best I can. And when you go to put everything together, don't worry about hesitating right now. We're just trying to get the hands to work together. Last measure of the second line, here. Here. Little fingers together. So just try and get the hands to work together. Then once you can do that, go back through a few hundred times and get rid of the hesitations. So it can go slow. Keep it slow, however, but get rid of the hesitations. No hesitating. You can speed it up later. Once you can do that, we add the articulation. Short staccatos, I'm lifting up. Both hands. 2 note slurs. Down, up, down, up. Get the idea? So you go through and put in the articulation. It's pretty straightforward. Once you can do that, we do the dynamics. It goes to the melody, which is in the right hand. That starts soft. The left hand's very soft. Keep the left hand in the background. Second line, you get a swell. You're going to go up to about a moderately loud. Right there. Now, first note of the last measure of the second line. That's where you're the loudest. Then come back down. Back down to soft. And the end of the third line, you're starting to go up. You're going to go up to moderately loud again. Don't be moderately loud until the last line. So take your time. Soft, moderately soft, moderately loud. crescendo, the last measure up to loud. Then all of a sudden you're soft here at measure, top page 25. That means the left hand's very soft. Now, you don't get loud until the bottom page 25 where you're gumming it from soft, the first measure, last line. Soft, soft, moderately soft, moderately loud. Don't get loud to the, actually the last note is very loud according to what they're saying. So in that case, you can go ahead and get loud in the last measure. If they didn't put in the accents at the end, then I would say start that last measure at moderately loud and go up to loud. But they raised the stakes there a little. So get to know it well enough you can feel the dynamics, because it's like on page 25, most of that page is just soft. Well, you're not just going to stay soft all the time, but if you can get into it and feel it, go listen to the orchestra play it and see how they interpret it. You can feel, you can get a little louder and softer. You're just staying in that area of soft, that's all. Then if you survived all that, we'll go ahead and try the speed. Allegretto is between moderato and allegro, sort of a moderately fast, or a fast moderate, I don't know. I call it the fun speed. Grazioso, be gracious about it. Well, that's interpretation. Get to know it and you can be gracious later. Right now, just try and play. It's just... And that's the overall feel of the piece. Now, how fast can you play these triplets accurately? And that'll tell you about how fast you can go. Now they've added a little bit of pedal in spots. And again, if you're going to add pedal, why are you adding pedal? Because you use it for a reason or don't use it. We don't need pedal in this piece at all. We do just fine. But they've added it, see on the second line on page 24, you're pedaling with the notes and lift up with the staccatos. So you get a staccato. But you don't need pedal there. So just push it down with the notes and lift up with the staccatos. Then on page 25, they're using pedal on these arpeggios. And you don't need pedal there either. My guess there is more they're using that to try, as a crutch to try and help you with the arpeggio, because most people will have a problem. You can't connect those. If you do my arpeggio videos and do as I instruct in there, the tremolo exercise and all, you'll learn to connect those. And you don't need pedal on that. However, you're going to do it, go ahead and push the pedal down with them and lift it up with a staccato. I don't see the point in the pedal. They do it at the end too. I assume for the same reason. Now also, I didn't mention it before, on page 24 at the end of the second line, there's a poco rit, which means slow down a little bit. Just slow down a little bit, and then the alt tempo on the next line. That's kind of telling you how to interpret that. I mean, you need to feel that poco ritardando, and then you feel that. So get into the music well enough, and then you can come back and maybe add just a little ritardando, not a big one.